Welcome everyone to our Essential Wellness Healthy You Cleanse. I'm Dr. Josie Schmidt.
And I'm Dr. Jenny Tafankian.
And I'm Dr. Louise Rose.
And we are your naturopathic physicians here to really help support you through this process. We're so excited that you're come to join us, and let's get started. So, I'd like to outline a little bit of what is going to be going on for everyone and what the cleanse is going to look like. We're going to have 3 phases, and over the next 30 days. Each phase is 10 days. So the first phase is called Activate. And we're going to be activating all of our detoxification pathways and getting our body started to be doing that process. And then in days 10 through 20, that is the reset. That's when we'll be working on our gut a little bit more deeply and rooting out some bad guys and getting ready for the next 10 days, which is days 20 through 30, called the renewal. So we're going to be renewing with great gut bugs and getting your body really flowing and ready to go. So through those phases, we are going to be doing Facebook Lives, and we're going to also be educating you guys with that, and we're going to be having some videos. Don't worry, we're going to really line out every phase, and so you'll know exactly what to do. And we are going to be having supportive calls live with us, and we have some other wonderful presenters working with us doing our live calls. These are Essential Wellness calls. They're every Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. Portland or Pacific Standard Time, and that'll be for the whole period of the cleanse from January 15th to February 15th. So look forward to that. On our first one is going to be the 3 of us speaking in much more detail about getting truly prepped and ready and started for the cleanse. And that is this coming up Wednesday, again, 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, Louise, are there some frequently asked questions and some things that people want to, we're going to go over that, but we first want to let people know a little bit more about guidelines about who is ready, should be doing the cleanse, not doing the cleanse. Let's go over that a bit.
Absolutely. If you're wondering whether this cleanse is right for you or right for you at this time, I just have a couple of guidelines about who I would say is not a good candidate for a cleanse. The first one would be somebody who has an unstable medical condition. So perhaps you've just been diagnosed with a new condition, you're just understanding it, maybe you're getting your meds straightened out. You don't want to throw this in on top of that. A cleanse might be great for you at another time, but wait until you're more stable. If you have an eating disorder or a history of an eating disorder, that's something to really think about. It can be really compelling for somebody who tends to have disordered eating to want more rules, and especially if they're healthy, but it can be a big trigger for you. So if you have an active eating disorder, I would actually recommend not doing a cleanse. If you have a history of an eating disorder, find somebody to work with and get some support and figure out if that's appropriate for you. Sometimes people ask, is this a good idea if I'm pregnant or nursing? And my recommendation would be no. We're going to be pulling toxins out of storage, and they're going to be going through our blood, and we don't want that stuff to end up in our baby. So really just wait, it's fine. If you're somebody who is thinking about getting pregnant, it's a great thing to do. Yes. Pre-fertility, definitely you want to do it. You want your partner to be doing it too. Going to set yourself up for a great pregnancy. And then there was children. So also I think a child's job is to be eating healthy food and growing and building strong tissues, but not to be detoxing. If you've been developed like teenagers, older kids like that, that's an individual case-by-case basis. But don't bring this onto your kids. Can you think of anything that I forgot on that list?
No, I think you've covered it really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another gray area too, is somebody with someone that has real low vitality. And by that I mean chronic disease, maybe very cold all the time, have low energy. Somebody like that obviously would benefit from probably detoxifying, but they might not have the energy. It takes energy to detoxify ourselves. So what I would recommend in that case is work with a naturopath to really build the vitality, build the nutrients, build the stores, so that then you can do a cleanse at a later date.
And we'll
Great
talk a
advice.
little bit about, we're going to be talking about some of these things more in detail this Wednesday on the
Yeah.
call. But one of the guidelines that I like to give is for people is that to have already been using something like a citrus oil internally with some water and knowing how your system is responding to it already and that it's able to work with it in a healthy way. And also the baseline of these 3 supplements, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, to have already experienced them and know that your body is ready to work with them at the full dose. So one of the things we see with people with lower vitality is that they're not able to tolerate the full dose of this. So we'll go into that in more detail, but that's a good way to kind of sketch that out.
Yeah.
If you are able to work with these 3 at the full dose and with a little bit of citrus oil in your water and you're not having huge problems, then you're probably ready.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Another question that people have is, what about my medications? Can I still take my medications while I'm doing this cleanse? And that's a really great thing to be thinking about. And yes, you do want to keep taking all of your prescription medications. But I also want to say, with the caveat of, as we get healthier, we might not need as much medication. So there's a certain couple areas where, for instance, if you're on blood pressure medications for high blood pressure or blood sugar lowering medications if you have diabetes, then if you start cleaning up your diet and eating healthier, your blood pressure and blood sugar might go down on their own. And if you're still taking the medication, it might go down far. So keep taking your medication, but just monitor. Get your blood pressure taken, monitor your blood sugars, and if you notice it dipping down low, talk to your doctor about possibly reducing your medication. But other than that, I think most medications are safe to go, and you don't want to go off your medications abruptly. So keep taking your meds.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then also, a lot of people ask about, well, what about all my supplements? I'm taking all these other supplements. Am I supposed to keep taking those supplements and these, or do I stop my supplements? I kind of hate to say this, I don't have a super easy answer for you because it really depends on your individual situation. If you're taking supplements for a specific condition, say you have a thyroid issue and you went to your naturopathic physician and they put you on supplements for that thyroid, we really don't want you to go off those supplements because you're probably on those instead of a medication or maybe in addition to a medication. So that's stirring up the pot in a way that we can't support you in this online way. However, what we would recommend is that you do talk to your care provider that prescribed those supplements, let them know what you're thinking about doing, and I expect they'll be able to work out a really good plan with you. Now, if you're just taking a multi-daily vitamin type of thing and some omega-3s, that kind of stuff, you can definitely just replace those. You can put those aside for the cleanse and take your LLV pack, which is essentially a really awesome multivitamin, and also your omegas have your essential fatty acids in them. So if it's a basic nutrient vitamin like that, you can replace it. But if it's treating a specific condition, or if you're not sure, please talk to your provider about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any tips for everyone as they're starting in terms of just the best way to prepare yourself, both psychologically, emotionally, and mentally, to kind of get ready for this process?
Yeah, I think we all have thoughts about that, right?
Yes, we
So-
do. We're going to be talking more about that, so
We
just
will.
a little bit.
So, and I will say that this is an area that will be supporting you all the way through the cleanse because each phase of the cleanse is going to bring up different things emotionally and what you need for a strategy to set yourself up for success. But I'm always just a huge fan of just set yourself up for success. You want to have the support around you so that you can do this well. And I'm just going to jump in a little bit and just give a thumbnail around some of the dietary suggestions so I can use that as an example. We're going to talk a lot on our first call about the different diet options. We're really making this so that you can tailor it for your own individual needs. For some of you, just taking the supplements and drinking extra water, oh my gosh, that's great. And that's where you're at, and you know that that is your challenge, and that's great. You want to stretch yourself a bit, but not overwhelm yourself, is what I would say. And you can use the support of the group to support you in that stretch space. so that's what we would call like branch one.
Level one.
Is
branch
taking
one, yeah.
is taking the supplements and water. The second is we're talking about doing a modified elimination diet, and so this is a chance for you to maybe experiment or once again eliminate something that might be inflammatory for your body, such as gluten or sugar or alcohol, one of those things. And we're going to talk about this again in more detail. And then the third tier is people who are ready to go really hardcore into some dietary support, and we're suggesting that you follow the Whole30, which some of us will be doing during that, and we can adapt that even more deeply for individual needs. So we're going to have these 3 different phases. What I want to talk about is how would you set yourself up for support around these. So say you're the person that is taking the supplements. What have been some of the considerations that make it challenging to take supplements in the past, and work your way around? Maybe you want to keep these out on your counter so you can see them. If you're going to be doing a deeper dive into the diet, I highly recommend that you start thinking now about how is it that what am I going to eat for lunch? Where am I going to eat out? What am I going to do for snacks? And really feel solid with that plan. And are you going to be the only person in your household doing it, or are the people going to support you? We do know it's more easier if you do have people that are supporting you in your household, but it's okay. You can also do it on your own. It just means that you just need to be prepared for that and set yourself up for those kind of situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to add too that think about how you want to feel. We all have our own reasons for doing a cleanse, and sometimes it's because we think we're bad, or we eat, especially after the holidays, or we feel fat or bloated or icky or this or that, and we're going to correct it. And I just want to say that research suggests that self-acceptance and self-love is the foundation for habit change, and really punishing yourself and beating yourself up for not being good enough isn't very effective. So if we're trying to bring more health and more wellness into our life, if you can focus on how you want to feel at the end of the 30 days, that's going to really help give you the strength and the focus to get there, because there will be some hard days and you'll say, why am I doing this? And if it's, if you have a punishing attitude towards yourself, it's going to be a lot harder to go through. So you might spend some days journaling about how you can set yourself up for success. I also recommend, we haven't started yet, we have another week before we start, maybe just start noticing and observing and becoming aware of areas in your life that might be difficult, and come up with a plan for how you're gonna get through those.
Oh,
I think
so
that's
great.
beautiful, beautiful advice. Yeah, and I always say, does it feel like love? Right? So if it feels like love, great. Just make sure it feels like love.
Yay! So join us, everyone, this Wednesday, 10 to 11 Pacific Standard Time, on our Essential Wellness Live call. It's going to be the 3 of us, and we're going to be going deeper into a few more tips, but really we're going to focus on the food guidelines. So everyone wants to know, what do I eat? How do I do this? So we, as Dr. Jenny said, we have 3 different phases for people, where you can kind of go lighter and just work on the supplements. Maybe you have a lot going on in your life and you're not ready to change your food and that very much, and that's okay. A lot happens with not even just with this. And then the second level is we're going to be helping to guide people with a more open-ended guided system around anti-inflammatory and elimination, and looking at your top between 1 to 5 things to eliminate, and how you can support yourself that way. And then also, what is the Whole30, and how can people start to really look at that and dive into that and work with that as a much more detailed, specific system. And so we're going to be doing that. So please join us this coming up Wednesday, and we're so excited to be doing this cleanse with everyone. Woohoo!